just working with Trey, like I said, however I can. So I just want to get a few minutes and introduce Trey. He's got a couple things to say, and then we can get back to talking and drinking, which is what we all do best. And Trey's a great candidate for this district. 21 year Dallas Police Department. 5 years Army veteran. 4-year Army veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, absolutely. Great resume for this district, and just want to have him talk about why he's running, etc., and then I'll follow up with a couple things at the end.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank y'all so much for having me out. First of all, I want to thank y'all for coming out and being a part of this event. Look, we're up against some challenges. I'm pretty sure I don't have to go through the whole campaign speech, who I am, but I guess I should because we're on live. Are we on live right now?
You are live.
Oh my God. All right. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I am Dr. Trey Penny. I'm a doctor of education, military veteran, and a 21-year Dallas Police Sergeant. I'm also currently running. I am the Republican nominee for U.S. Congress here in District 30. I'm running against Erica Denise Johnson. For those of you that don't know, she is an 85-year-old, 14-term incumbent, 28 years, right? And it's filling majority minority district. There are 435 U.S. House seats across this country. And of those seats, 121 of them are filling majority minority districts. And none of them have Republican leadership. What I'm coming to do is I'm coming to offer a new breath of fresh air for those districts, especially here in District 30. All those issues that we see from crime, low economic development, failing education, now we definitely see some major environmental issues. Unfortunately, because of the failed leadership in this district for so long, we've had other cities surrounding that have dumped their waste in this district and has been mismanaged for several years. Look, I'm not just somebody that's just throwing stuff against the wall. I actually have blood, sweat, and tears in these streets. Like I said, I've been a police officer for several years. Before I move on, I do want to tell you a quick story because I think it kind of ties to who District 30 is. Several years ago when I was in patrol, I was assigned to the Southwest Division down in Oak Cliff. There was an apartment complex that always had a lot of violence going on, a lot of shootings, a lot of crime going on. So what I would do is I would normally ride around and just get to know the people, the community on my own. Just to make sure if something would have happened, I want to be on top of it. That's how our officers work out in the field. They try to be active and be aggressive to make sure that when things happen that they are on top of it. On this particular day, I was driving through the community, and I was on evening shift. I was driving through the community, and I saw a little boy sitting on the curb. And I drive up on him, and I let my window down, and I said, "Hey, little man, what you doing?" And he looked up at me, had his head tucked between his legs. And he looked up at me, and he said, "I'm just tired." So I get out of my car, and I walk over to the little man. I said, "Well, what you tired of, little man?" And he said, "I'm tired of running." I said, "Well, what you running for?" And he said, "All my friends got bikes, I don't have one." So, he kind of sat there and put his head back down. And I thought about it. And I said, "Well, hold on a second, little man, I'll be right back." So I jumped in my squad car, and I drove. At the time, we had a Target bus over on Redbird. And I jump out my car, I'm running to the Target bus, I grab the best bike I can find, and I go grab it, and I throw it in my back seat, and I drive back. And I'm thinking, now look, Redbird's a little bit further away from Keith than you would expect. Well, I'm trying not to name the apartment complex, but anyway, it's a little bit further away than one would expect. But look, I tried my best to get over there. I'm thinking for sure this kid was gonna be gone. And when I came back, this kid was still sitting in the same place that he was when I left him. And I got out the car and I gave him this bike, and to see the joy and smiles in this kid's face, to see him jump on his bike and drive off and ride off with his peers, with more gratitude and more, I couldn't feel any more joy in my own life to see the happiness in this kid's face. And I say that story simply to say that District 30 got to find a way to catch up with his peers. We can't keep being left behind. We can't be this kid left on the sideline with our heads between our legs thinking.
Yes, sir.
And wondering why everybody else is moving ahead of us.
Yes, sir.
Now it's time to change the way that we do business here in District 30. Look, I try to make myself as available to people as possible. You know, I try to, you know, for several years I was a college professor. I taught cultural diversity. I taught crime and criminal law and ethics. And I want people to know that I'm always in the middle of doing different things. So I want to make sure that I am understanding different cultures and the way that things happen in communities. Unfortunately, as in this political world that we're in right now, we've become so polarized. And we've completely forgot about the human element. We forgot about how people really live, the issues that directly impact their lives. And I want to bring something back to the system. I want to bring something back to empower people to go get it themselves. Nobody gave me a handout. Nobody gave me anything. It's unfortunate that I have to even tell my story, but as this kid that grew up in the inner city, from this broken home, with no opportunities, I was forced to do the most controversial thing that anybody could have done in my community. Being anti-government, didn't want the police in our community, didn't care anything about the government. But at the same time, we were relying upon the issues, relying upon the support of the government. But I was forced to change who I was. I was forced, not because I was so patriotic that I wanted to join the military. I say that was the most controversial thing because at the age of 16, after witnessing my cousin get killed in front of me, I said I had to get out. I had to do something else. And the Army was the only thing available to me. I thank God that I joined the United States Army because it opened my worldview. I got a chance to meet a lot of different people. I got a chance to travel. And we call it traveling, right? Got a chance to travel, see the world, right? But my first job was the Dallas Police Department. And I tell you all these stories only because everything brought me full circle. I told you we didn't want the police in our community. I told you how we were being victimized. I told you how I was a young advocate who had to become a victim before I changed my way of thinking. That inspired me to become a police officer. I'm still a police officer today. I love the job. But I think it's time for something else. It's time for change. The people in this district are suffering. I've seen entirely too many people die out here in these streets. I think it's time for somebody to get out here and fight for them. And with your help, we're actually going to make some change. Y'all support me, Trey Penny. So,